Hi everyone! This week we celebrate Epiphany. Epiphany means to show. This week, Jesus is shown as the leader of his people, Son of God, and Savior of the world. The wise men came to see Jesus from far away by following a star that showed them that someone special had been born. They knew this special person would be an important leader not only to his own people, but to the whole world. Epiphany is a white week because it is the last of the Christmas season. This week's Gospel is from the Gospel of Matthew. When Jesus was born in Bethlehem of Judea, in the days of King Herod, behold, Magi from the east arrived in Jerusalem, saying, "Where is the newborn King of the Jews? We saw his star at its rising and have come to do him homage." When King Herod heard this, he was greatly troubled, and all Jerusalem with him. Assembling all the chief priests and the scribes of the people, he inquired of them where the Christ was to be born. They said to him, "In Bethlehem of Judea, for thus it is written through the prophet, and you, Bethlehem, land of Judah, are by no means least among the rulers of Judah, since from you shall come a leader, who is to be the shepherd of my people Israel." Then Herod called the Magi secretly and ascertained from them the time of the star's appearance. He sent them to Bethlehem and said, "Go and search diligently for the child. When you have found him, bring me word that I too may go and do him homage." After their audience with the king, they set out. And behold, the star that they had seen at its rising preceded them until it came and stopped over the place where the child was. They were overjoyed at seeing the star, and on entering the house they saw the child with Mary his mother. They prostrated themselves and did him homage. They opened their treasures and offered him gifts of gold, frankincense, and myrrh. And having been warned in a dream not to return to Herod, they departed to their country another way. In this week's Gospel, we learn about Magi, or wise men from the east who saw a special star and followed it all the way to Jerusalem looking for a special child who was born and would be king. When they met with Herod, the current king, he did not like the sound of it. He did not want someone else to be king. So Herod asked his experts where the leader of God's people was supposed to be born. And they said they knew from things God had said in the past that it would be in Bethlehem. The king called the wise men and told them the baby would be born in Bethlehem. He told them to find the child and tell them where to find him. Uh-oh, that wasn't good. Herod was jealous that someone else would be king, so Herod probably wanted to do something bad to Jesus. Hopefully those wise men don't come back to tell him. The wise men went on their way to Bethlehem following the same star they had followed to Jerusalem. And they followed the star all the way to where Jesus, Mary, and Joseph were. Do you remember how they were staying where the animals stayed, since there was no room for them anywhere else? How amazing is that? Wise men came from so far away to find Jesus in such a place. The wise men worshiped Jesus and brought him gifts. They brought him gold, since they knew he was a king, so that was a good gift for kings. And they brought him frankincense, which was a good gift for God and God's prophets and priests, since it was used in the temple. And they brought myrrh, which was used for the dead when they were being buried, maybe because they somehow knew Jesus would eventually suffer and die. When it was time for them to go home, thankfully, in a dream, they realized they should not return to Herod. So they went home another way, and he didn't see them. So back to Epiphany and what was shown. The star showed the wise men that a special king was born. The wise men showed Herod and his experts that something special was going on, that they traveled so far. Unfortunately, Herod showed everyone his jealousy. The wise men showed Mary and Joseph how special Jesus was, although they probably knew by now, thanks to the angel Gabriel, the shepherds telling them about the angels, and Simeon and Anna. The wise men showed through their gifts that they believed Jesus was a king, God, or one of his servants, and that he would eventually suffer and die. And finally, the wise men showed how wise they were to have not gone back to Herod. So what has Jesus shown you this Christmas? Are there wise people in your life teaching you something? Is Mary teaching you something? Is Joseph teaching you something? Is there anything you can show to others? Can you do something kind to show others God's love and to show your love for God?